All right, beloved poets, welcome to Chaos Magic. As usual, I'll give a few ground rules. We have 3 to 5 minute sets, but we ask, but do not require that you bring one original and one cover piece. You can do two original pieces, do two cover pieces. We will love whatever magic or chaos you bring. Of course, no racism, no sexism, no bullshit. Keep it about the love. Love is a law, love under will. And with that said, let's start some good trouble. We got a nice list here, nice compact list. With that said, on deck we have C. Santos, our co-host tonight, but stepping up to the plate now. Leading off, please give it up for Richard Spizak. Unmute and take it away when you are ready.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. I have a couple pieces here that I hope will amuse you. This first one is serious. As writers, as people who are of letters, we're concerned about literacy, we're concerned about censorship. And this is a poem about censorship. It's called Oklahoma Lost a Teacher. Oklahoma lost a teacher. It wasn't quite sane, and sure, it wasn't prudent, wasn't good for their brains. The tiny minds had made up a law, and if you look, it had the tiniest of flaws. What could they do to turn from education to lies? They weren't very smart, and they certainly weren't wise. They couldn't see what they wouldn't see. No more could they take a quick stroll, no more than could they take a quick stroll across the Zuyder Z. They wanted the world to fit in a cup, and if it wasn't going to do it, well, that's it, what's up? They liked their fairy tales, that much is true, but sadly, madly, they wanted them for me, and they insisted you too. And if the world wouldn't fit in their tiny old box, they'd rather just pout and take off their shoes and, darn it, walk barefoot on rocks. It didn't matter to them. They banged their toes on simple facts that everyone knows. They wanted to outlaw those kind of facts. They insisted reality stopped right there in its tracks. From all the big world, they just wanted to hide. Didn't matter to them if reality didn't coincide. They wanted their facts. They wanted them now, and they didn't really like reality. They'd rather not have it. No way, no how. One little teacher stood up to the mob. She actually wanted to teach, though, even if it cost her her job. Show her students what the law had done. She blocked off the library door with red tape, each and every single one. She roped off the library right there in their face. She showed them how stupid, how totally and utterly bereft of grace. The laws are quite stupid. It just makes no sense to put a fence around ideas. It just makes no sense. And then this one, we have the marvelous creature, an amazing woman, the vice president who's now going to be running for president. And this is a little poem about people who think she doesn't fit in their box. Another case for boxes. It's called Is She? Is she Indian? Or is she French? I'm not exactly what it is that they've dumped and pumped and puffed us up into this silly trench. Were she Swiss, does it follow she'll always swing and miss, best bat hollow? I'm not quite sure how we got to this. Were she a Swede or Lordy Bantu? I'm not quite clear how that's really up to you. If she's Parisian or perhaps a Czech, I'm not really quite sure what you'll say next. She's got good references, worked for Law and Order. As a prosecutor, she clearly worked to reduce disorder. She had a plan to help kids stay in school. Isn't that what we really want them to do? Keep at it, keep them learning, if only to reduce the city's burning. But if you're convinced that she's Hawaiian, that somehow she'd never actually going to be trying, and if Argentinian she proved to be, could she therefore never cross the Zuyder Z? And if Italian, would she prove bereft of virtue? That is, its only nature and never nurture. And if her parents were raised by nuns, could she never dance or have fun? And if by laughing she some joy permits, must her children therefore be hermits? And if upon the Arctic Circle she traveled, would all her plans for justice unravel? And if we elected her, won't she try? If you say no, I wonder what it is you've got stuck there somehow deep in your eye. And were she a Martian, she'll still be better by the half than that blinking Trumpy. He's so weird and so very daft.
At this time, please unmute and give it up for Richard Spizak.
Yeah, Richard, I miss you too, brother. That's why I miss you right there for that fire.
I think I think you captured the spirit of the moment, Richard.
All
Only
right.
one?
Was that all you were doing tonight? I'm just double checking. Okay. Yep. With that said, one more time, give it for Richard Spizak. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, Richard. We love you, brother.
On deck, we got Cora Gray. But stepping up to the plate now, please give it up for C. Santos. Unmute and take it away.
Okay, so the cover I have for you today is Coin Operated Boy by Dresden Dolls. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I never know how to pronounce it. But it goes. Coin Operated Boy, sitting on the shelf. He is just a toy, but I turn him on and he comes to life. Automatic joy. That is what I want. A coin operated boy. Made of plastic and elastic. He is rugged and long lasting. Who could ever ask for more? Life without complications galore. Many shapes and weights to choose from. I will never leave my bedroom. I will never cry at night again. Wrap my arms around him and pretend. Coin operated boy. All the other real ones that I destroy cannot hold a candle to my new boy, and I'll never let him go. And I'll never be alone, not with my coin operated boy. This bridge was written to make you feel smitten, and with my sad picture of a girl getting bitter. Oh, can you extract me from my plastic fantasy? I didn't think so, but I'm still convincible. Oh, will you persist even after I bet you $1 million that I'll never love you? And and will you persist even after I kiss you? Goodbye for the last time. Will you be trying to prove it? I'm dying to lose it. I'm losing my confidence. I want it. I want to. I want you. I want a coin operated boy. And if I had a star to wish on for my life, I can't imagine any flesh and blood could be this match. I can't even take him to the bath. Coin operated boy. He may not be real experienced with girls, but I know he feels like a boy should feel. Isn't that the point? That is why I want a coin operated boy with a pretty coin operated voice saying that he loves me, that he's thinking of me, straight to the point. That is why I want a coin operated boy. Nobody could read song lyrics like me. For my poem, so for my poem, I actually had Catalyst choose one of my poems to read tonight. So this poem is from 2013 called Wildfire, and it is a two-part poem, but they're short. A smile in the distance, that twinkle in your eye, false yet not fake, a spark of love, hidden emotion, digging deep, like a wildfire waiting to be put out. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Or just nodding away at life? Part two, a ballad in the sky, all her thoughts unwind, winded by your voice, the beauty of your soul, the soulless truth that always swallows you whole, like an addiction that you can't control, unhealthy, yet oh so flavorful. The taste of your lips reach a high beyond the clouds. Your touch on her skin, a shiver down her spine, awakened by your voice, sets her crashing down hard, like an acid trip waiting to be lifted by the puff of a blunt. A smile in the distance, a twinkle in your eyes, like a wildfire waiting to be put out, only to be put down. Thank you.
Wonderful. Absolutely delicious. Everybody give it up for C. Santos at this time.
Yeah, see, we love you.
You did pronounce that right. Dresden Dolls. Dresden is the name of a city in Germany. Look it up on Google if you want to know what it's famous for, and it'll tell you what the band was kind of going for.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I just like never knew how to really pronounce their name. So
Yeah,
thank you, Paul.
you got
Well,
it
you was
right,
nailing it from
Dresden.
day one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
cool.
Dresden Dolls was this one of the earlier internet famous bands. You know, they didn't have a record label and they kind of blew up on the internet. And this
Yeah.
was in the early 2000s, sort of just around the time of Internet 2.0.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Paul. Next, well, right now we have Cora Gray, and on deck we have Thomas Open Minds. Cora, when you're ready, please feel free to unmute.
All right. I don't think I'm gonna read any of my own because I haven't written anything really that's great. But the first poem I'm gonna be reading is out of a oh, that's mirrored. Well, it's called The Extraordinary Tide. It's new poetry by it's all women writers. I picked this up at a thrift store a long time ago, and it's a good source of inspiration. First poem is by Jane Hirschfield. The title is The Lives of the Heart. And as I read this poem, the lives of the heart actually kind of continues. I'll read the title for the first couple of stanzas, but each new line, just remember the lives of the heart before that line. The lives of the heart are ligneous, muscular, chemical, where birch-colored feathers, green tunnels of horsetail reed, where calcified spirals, Fibonaccian spheres are edible, are glassy, are clay, blue schist. The lives of the heart can be burned as tallow, as coal, can be skinned for garnets, for shoes, can cast shadows or light, shuffle, snort, cry out in passion, are salt, are bitter, tear sweet grass with their teeth. Step silently into blue needle, fall at dawn, thrash in the net until hit. The lives of the heart rise up as cities, as serpentined magma, as maples, hiss lava red into the sea, leave the strange kiss of their bodies in Burgess shale, can be found, can be lost, can be carried, broken, sung, lie dormant until they are opened by ice, by drought, go blind in the service of lace, are starving, are sated, indifferent, curious, mad, are stamped out in plastic, in tin, are stubborn, are careful, are slipshod, are strung on the blue backs of flies, on the black backs of cows. Wander the vacant whale roads, the white thickets heavy with slaughter. Wander the fragrant carpets of alpine flowers. The lives of the heart, not one is not held in the arms of the rest. to blossom. Not one is not given to ecstasy's lions. Not one does not grieve. Each of them opens and closes, closes and opens. The heavy gate, violent, serene, consenting, suffering it all. So that was by Jane Hirschfield, The Lives of the Heart. This cover piece. So I found this right. I'm taking a soil science class, and I was reading this poem before. It's called This Compost. It's by Walt Whitman. So if you know that name, if you don't know that name, know it well. He's one of the greatest beat poets, spoken word poets of his time. So this compost. One. Oh wait, hold on. One. Something startles me where I thought I was safest. I withdraw from the still woods I loved. I will not go up now in the pastures to walk. I will not strip the clothes from my body to meet my lover, the sea. I will not touch my flesh to the earth as to other flesh to renew me. Oh, how can it be that the ground itself does not sicken? How can you be alive, you growths of spring? How can you furnish health, you blood of herbs, roots, orchards, grain? Are they not continually putting distempered corpses within you? Is not every continent worked over and over with sour dead? Where have you disposed of their carcasses, those drunkards and gluttons of so many generations? Where have you drawn off all the foul liquid and meat? I do not see any of it upon you today, or perhaps I am deceived. I will run a furrow with my plow. I will press my spade through the sod and turn it up underneath. I am sure I shall expose some of the foul meat. 2. Behold this compost. Behold it well. Perhaps every mite that has once formed part of a sick person, yet behold. The grass of spring covers the prairies, the beans burst noiselessly through the mold in the garden. The delicate spear of the onion pierces upward, the apple buds cluster together on the apple branches. The resurrection of the wheat appears with pale visage out of its graves. The tinge awakes over the willow tree and the mulberry tree. The he-birds carol mornings and evenings while the she-birds sit on their nests. The young of poultry, I'm sorry. The young of poultry break through the hatched eggs. The new, I'm sorry, shit on the nest. The young of poultry break through the hatched eggs. The newborn animals appear. The calf is dropped from the cow, the colts from the mare. Out of its little hill faithfully rise the potatoes' dark green leaves. Out of its hill rises the yellow maize stalk. The lilacs bloom in the dooryards. The summer growth is innocent and disdainful above all those strata of sour dead. What chemistry? That the winds are really not infectious, that this is no cheat, this transparent green wash of the sea, which is so amorous for me, that it is safe to allow it to lick my naked body all over with its tongues, that it will not endanger me with the fevers that have deposited themselves in it, that all is clean forever and forever, that The cool drink from the well tastes so good. That blackberries are so flavorous and juicy that the fruits of the apple orchard and the orange orchard, that melons, grapes, peaches, plums will none of them poison me. That when I recline on the grass, I do not catch any disease, though probably every spear of grass rises out of what was once a catching disease. Now I am terrified at the earth. It is that calm and patient. It grows such sweet things out of such corruptions. It turns harmless and stainless on its axis, with such endless successions of diseased corpses. It distills such exquisite winds out of such infused fetor. It renews with such unwitting looks with its prodigal annual sumptuous crops, vocab word. It gives such divine materials to men and accepts such leavings from them at last. Poem. So that is by Walt Whitman, called This Compost. I'll write that vocab word down for you guys though. Sumptuous.
Beautiful choices for your covers tonight, Cora. That was amazing.
At this time, please give it up for Cora Gray. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that. Beautiful shares.
Yeah, thanks for those.
That's the beauty of chaos magic. If you don't have anything fresh to read, read some covers, right? We want, to be introduced to new poets, new poetry, and to hear it from such lovely poets, you know. And speaking of not having anything to read, we're gonna be starting a show next month that you guys can start writing with. C's gonna be hosting it with co-host Jackson Riley. It's gonna be sort of a workshop slash therapy slash open mic with the end of the month workshop. So yeah, we're gonna be all getting some fresh paint soon. So thank you again.
Coming up, we have Thomas Open Minds, and on deck, we have Paul Skip. Thomas, whenever you're ready, please feel free to unmute.
All right, I wanna thank y'all for this space, and I especially want to thank Dre Ray for holding down the fort, keeping this thing going. When my wife and I took break, like he really has taken the full load on and kept it going and just doing amazing things. This Friday we got the first hybrid, um, end of the month hybrid coming up like Dre and Saturday we got an amazing guest coach for the Slam Jam. So I just want to thank you again. And in honor of you, Dre, I think I've done this one here before, but I like it. I want to read it again. This is a cover of Dre Ray, Reassurance. I've been looking forward to be hitting this stage with style and grace. So allow me to lace my shoes before I start tripping all over the place. Falling face first, my heart is racing at the thought of wasting your time. I've wined and dined with kings and queens, and I've slept in the alley eating pork and beans into a food coma, becoming a ghost of the unseen, until I wake in the cold, shaking like a fiend, deprived of not vice, but of shelter. Please let me in. I've walked through battle, cry, and sin, breathing out, breathing in. What feels like cement filling up my rib cage, solidifying and encapsulating my inner mage. However, I'm trying my best to manifest the ideal life, and I refuse to settle for less as I break through the mess of stress while the rest doesn't matter. Oh, yes. How I have longed for the caring caress of neurotypicality. never knowing when the doomsday clock will strike midnight. I'm calm like a bomb, trying with all my might to not get ticked at the world, to not tick you off, to not be so frantic, tick, 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 of all the what ifs and what nots, making me question my thoughts. My brain is tied in knots with random thoughts and it never stops. The brakes have been gone a long time ago, a really long time ago. But not the mind, amigo. So reassure me, let me know that everything is okay. That was a cover from Dre Ray, your host there. And then, you know, waiting on this new show that C's gonna be doing so I can write new stuff. I think I'm actually gonna cover a C Santos poem. And they don't know what poem. I had Catalyst again pick one out for me just as she did for you. So this is Ramblings of an Intoxicated Mind, Part 1 and 2 by C. Santos. That moment when you remind yourself of certain things that you went through in life that made you the person you are today. Most days, I'm glad I'm not the person I used to be, but sometimes I think, am I? What has changed exactly? And who did I really do it for? I crave acceptance regardless. I know I'll never get it. I'm jealous of a lot of things and people. I'm not afraid to admit it. I crave the chaos that was once my life. I crave the wanting and numbness. I'm addicted to a lot of things. You were the most. And I hate myself every day because it lingers even when I think I forgot your existence. Bam! I'm reminded like a slap in the face. The hunger pains of you killed me every day. The hunger pains of life numb me every day. Chaos, peace, happy. What does any of it mean anyway? What is happiness supposed to be? What is it supposed to feel like? Fuck, I lost my train of thought. Part 2. I want to dance in the rain and be pulled back into your hurricane. I want to feel deeper into the hole because it's all I know. I need it. The punishment, I crave it. The addiction, I want it. The dark, hello, my old friend. Your chaos, only I understand it. Strong willed? Fuck no. My arms are open. Come find me. Let the rain pour. Paul.
Damn right. Everybody at this
Wow.
time, please give it up for Thomas Open Mic.
What
Yeah.
was the name of
Wow.
that poem?
I don't even know if it was a poem. It was just you posted. It was Ramblings of an Intoxicated Mind, Part 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
So you might not
Those were
remember
one of my
writing it.
drunken thoughts one
Yeah, yeah,
day.
yeah,
First of
yeah.
all, I didn't remember writing that at all because that shit sounded fucking amazing. So it was
Hey,
like,
that's
holy,
you,
who
bro.
wrote
That's
that?
you.
I wrote
You wrote that.
this way. Holy shit, that was cool. Oh my God. Second of all, I just want to say no one on this earth has ever read my poetry before. Like to me out loud. That's why I'm like,
Especially one that you don't even
who
remember
wrote that?
writing. Yeah.
So wow, thank you so much. That was amazing. Holy shit. It did not sound like my writing at all. Period. Thank you.
Love you. Thank you for thank you for writing that so I could perform it. It was a beautiful piece to perform.
in the very few times that I've been covered, uh, it's that poem. And it just seems to sound a lot better in other people's voices than when I read it personally. I remember one time Balance did it, and it was like, holy shit, Balance, you you just like got like the least to this entire fucking poem. He owned it so good at a slam once in a cover slam. Um, but it was just that was just kind of pretty cool to unexpectedly hear a poem of mine coming out of someone else's mouth. So that was a
Yeah,
really
by
fun
the way,
treat.
folks, I didn't tell Dre or C that I would be covering a piece from both of them tonight, so it was surprise for them too, because I love y'all, man, and welcome to the family, and thank y'all for being part of this journey with us. So yeah, once again, like thank you for creating art that I can cover. You know,
Oh man, pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have everybody here. With these platforms, these awesome shows that we have on a weekly basis. Nobody brings poetry like we do, and big ups to Thomas for creating the platform. Hell yeah, brother. With that said, we're gonna keep this show rolling. On deck, we got MT Pariti. I love that name. But coming up next, the community uncle, Skiff verse. Paul Skiff, unmute and take it away when you are ready.
What, I gotta follow Thomas and see? Well, that's not fair. I'm not gonna do a cover. I read two couple pages out of a story, so it's kind of prose. Um, and I'll just try to set it up a second here. It's a persona piece, and it's a satire, of course. Well, I can't write anything else but satires for some reason. Um, and this probably take, 4 or 5 minutes to read these 2 pages. So what I'm going to do is just read the beginning of the story, and then I'm going to hop like 10 pages back and read an excerpt of it. So there'll be a little disjunction here. And this doesn't have a title. My first visit to the unemployment office was reported on radio, along with 334,000 other first visitors to unemployment, up 12,000 over the month before. I don't know who the State Department of Labor uses as their voice of public diplomacy to report those totals, or who those totals are mouthed to. I kind of like to think uh, I kind of like to think the figures wash over a huge cathode display in some deep basement situation room under a squat ferro-concrete Nouveau Roman federal building that sort of functions like a liver. And knowing a main function of government bureaus is ensuring their own individual existence within the dedicated revenue stream, reports of my presence at a particular social services station accumulate really just to ensure some other person's employment within government. That is why my being unemployed is a highly patriotic duty. Sensationalized statistics amount to a real news scoop for the Department of Taxation and Finance. They get a high media profile, beat out, say, the National Weather Reporting Service, or even Radio Free Cuba for that limited moment of false consensus with its pre-decided moral questions. Being on radio like that makes me a minor celebrity in government employ, which has far more prestige than, say, being a person associated with movies, TV, or sports, where you end up essentially being a kind of advertisement, an advertisement for all the things and behaviors late capitalist corporate entities assert what must necessarily have and do to reach the perfect capitalist existence with enough bloated ego, greed, parasitism, profiteering, careerism, interest in blandness, anti-intellectual, clerical views, moral nihilism, cupidity, and lack of true ideas to mostly be acting out your own fears most of the time. I've often marveled at the eloquent wisdom of sports stars. So being on unemployment makes there something redeeming about this society when I can still look down on people of a lower category than even myself. I'm very happy claimant on unemployment. Unemployment has a lot of security. Instruction number 1 on the LO 3187-90 reporting book says, quote, keep this reporting book even if you get a job. You may need it again, unquote. And I was reassured while waiting for my initial determination of benefit rate to see on the paperwork that in the ideal sense, I was being cared for by those two feminine entities, liberty and blind justice. They were depicted as actually holding up a landscape where the sun has a smiling face. But I've already introduced myself to discontinuities through the technique of unemployment, which has acclimatized me to human regression and repression and stagnation. I figure if I perform activities strictly devalued, so my life is mostly an unnoticed event, not a tappable route secured to the inverted world of unmet needs where no one really participates in each other, the secret bureaucratic spirit of unreluctant docility, faith in redemptive power from the organized scarcity of basic human rights and other legal forms of inequality won't control monger me into scarfing up robotic routines like it was a higher sphere of reality. In the intervals between converting my unemployment checks, which they call the 1-A 406.211-69s from the Department of Taxation and Finance, I've been customizing my current man stopper for the secondary market. I've reduced the sear slop to prevent stovepipe jam. I've done some hand cut checkering, added a beaver tail safety, beveled the magazine well. The front sight is a ramp blade with 40 lines per inch. Now, nothing can make you feel like you are living in a counter society on the edge of a sub-universe more than installing a 23-pound load-rated recoil, steel guide and buffer, giving the barrel a throat job and polishing the feed ramp, all while chewing on the words to an unpopular song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't like you anymore. I just about got my social contact area down to the 4 by 12 inch space of my mailbox where I'm pursued by aggressive corporate lovers who let me know I am wealthy and admired with their flirt mail. We want to give you our $1 million prize to you, Paul Skiff. Paul Skiff, will you accept our special offer? We love writing to you, Paul Skiff, so please tell us what to do. Corporations are finding it harder to penetrate my life with their class instincts of economic self-perfection, hope boosting, and deposit of sacred forces in the spiritual bank now that I occupy myself browsing through 158 grain semi-wad cutter hollow point plus Ps or 40 S&W 80 180 JHPs that arrive at 981 feet per second out of that muzzle, and other serious chamberings that will reflect critical tack penetration on a K-zone of an NRA B6 bullseye. I'm thinking more along a 389 ACP Hydroshock that will get flawless feed through the clip from a triple tap technique with practically no muzzle signature in low light since federal immigration dropped to extradite the super in my building while he and his wife screamed into their pinched enforcement blanched faces something like, Cosa igual sucedió en la Alemania nazi en los años 50 cuando atacaron los judíos, líderes de uniones comunistas, hasta cual fin los llevarán los campos de concentración y los hornos crematorios. I figure if they are combing the environment to exploit the shaky status, the marginal community resource base where I live, since I'm no longer being used as a tool to create wealth for someone else because I'm on unemployment, the corporate need for defense, with its civilizing function, will want to protect its investment sphere by meting out similar treatment to me. So I really need to get my manstopper polished up and into super 100% efficiency. That is why the next time I get a phone call from a computer in Hollywood asking me to be in movies, or from the local county telling me I shouldn't worry about having a grave because they've guaranteed me a spot in the local cemetery, I will remind myself, it is a fact. You can be severely injured by cup o' soup or a jelly donut, and I will feel reassured, pushing the envelope of my constitutional guarantee to perfect neutralizing effects of my favorite launching platform, when I hear how, in order to promote Western cultural values, some authentic American in the rulership of the governing class will kill a law in Congress to show how government gets overprotective of a big company. At such times, even the slight trigger take up on my voice just seems to disappear under the stress. Blam, blam, blam. That's it.
Oh, God.
Iconic.
Everybody at this time, please give it up for the one and only Paul Skiff.
That was amazing.
Welcome to the Skiffers.
Yeah, bro.
Pros
Nobody
on point, like
penetrates.
what?
More.
Nobody penetrates the English language quite like Paul Skiff.
That's a good word for penetrate. No one penetrates the English language like Oscar, for sure.
Thanks.
Nailed it.
Paul,
Oh,
do you have
God.
more?
Yeah, that was
More
one. We want
excerpts
that.
from
We want
this.
more. We want more.
Yeah,
More.
that's enough.
Encore.
My mouth is tired.
All right. One and done for Paul Skiff, everybody. One more time. Please give it up.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's always great to be here with everybody.
Always a pleasure having you.
Coming up next, we have Parquillian. But right now, we have. I'm so sorry. You just said the name, Dre.
Hold up. I think he meant to say that Parquin's on deck, but step up to the plate now.
We
Please
have.
give it up for MT Pariti. Take it away
Yes,
when you are ready.
What up, y'all? Yeah, MT Paridi here, hanging out with y'all tonight, and I am gonna do two originals this evening. I hope you don't mind. They're both new shit. I've been writing a lot. Oh yeah, you're good, C. And so yeah, I'll get right to it. The first one was based on some prompt words. I was presented with a list of prompt words, and I picked 3 of them, and I made a poem out of it. The prompt words were silence, thunderstorm, and resurrect. So this is what I did with those. Here goes. Wet paint, as Thomas Open Minds would say. The silence is so scary because it's filled with things unsaid. Schrodinger, he had his cat, and I've got words stuck in my head. But are they there? Are they alive if kept deep under wraps? A light beneath a bushel, and a notebook filled with scraps? Set the traps, the booby kind. Surprise, catch them off guard. Check the maps, disprove, then find a guise to cover scarred. Disfigured and deformed, I hide behind facade. My soul all thunderstormed. You'd think I were a Greek god. This lightning rod I hold as scepter, this crown of tempest rain. They call me the great resurrector for what I do with pain. Breathe new life in two old wounds, lemon, salt, and scrub. Torture self, I'm so buffooned, can't help it. That's the rub. That's the problem, that's the cross I've got to carry, coin to toss. Like I said, so scary loss, so keep it moving or gather moss. Poem. Short and sweet. Little one there for everyone. Not my usual minute and a half, but there you go. Yeah, that's one of my favorite lines too, Cora. I love that line. All right, cool. The next one is Love Shit. I wrote this yesterday. I'm calling it The Love of My Life. Here goes. And it's very different than what I usually do. I want an easy love, a never leave me love, the type that looks me in the eyes and then it sees me love. I mean the real me love. I won't conceal me love. I know it's not your job to come and heal me love, but please don't hurt me love and don't desert me love. You know that this is such a wonderful and worthy love. Like, have you heard me love? All of my words be love. And all my actions too, you couldn't swerve me love, because you deserve me love. You bees and birds me love. When we are bound together, babe, the world sees love, because you whirl me, love. You spin and twirl me, love. Like a flower that's in bloom, yes, you unfurl me, love. You are my girl, see, love. My precious pearly, love. You give it so goddamn good, my toes be curly, love. A big and burly, love. You yeet and hurl me, love. Right into the abyss, and then you cure me, love. Yes, you demure me, love. So please assure me, love, that this isn't a one-way dead end or curvy, love, because we stirred the love, yes, the absurdly, love. I say again, I wonder, have you heard me, love? Like cats, we purr the love. We never blur the love, but not like dogs because we never curb the love. More than a blurby love, the shit is purely love. At the end of days, you will see that you're the love of my life. Paul.
Oh man, that was so fucking adorable. Everybody unmute and please give it up
Yo,
for
I
MC Paridi at this time.
I can see that being the number one like pop single on all the radio stations.
Okay.
Everybody like you need to
Yeah,
bless
we
the
only
world with that
win
love,
over
man.
here.
Like yeah,
We
everybody
win.
was dancing, man. We was all feeling that, yo. Like that was dope, man.
Yeah, that was really head spinning.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a fun one. I just had this rhythm, this little cadence, this beat in me, and this rhyme scheme that just wouldn't stop, and I had to keep going with it, and that's what happened.
When the beat goes on, the beat goes on, and
Hey,
you just gotta carry
love
on with
made
that
people
beat.
do crazier things, so you know.
Right on. Wow, that just was just fire from the moment go. Absolute fire. One more time, everybody, please give it for MC Paridi.
Yeah,
Woo!
T.
That was fire.
Yes.
That was
See,
awesome.
would you like to make the announcement for who's on deck and who's next?
Yes. The person coming up
On deck first.
on deck, on deck, we have the beautiful Marianne. But coming up, we have Parquillian. Whenever you are
Yeah.
ready to unmute.
Thank you, C and Dre and everyone here. Great to be here tonight. I've got a cover here. If I can remember where it is. Hold on. There we go. Yep, sorry. Just jumping around here. Here we go. This is a poem called Sunset by Michael R. Birch. Between the prophecies of morning and twilight's revelations of wonder, the sky is ripped asunder. The moon lurks in the clouds, waiting as if to plunder the dusk of its lilac iridescence. And in the bright tentacled sunset, we imagine a presence full of the fury of lost innocence. What we find within strange worlds of drifting flame, brief patterns, mauling winds deform and maim. We recognize at once, but cannot name. And okay, my phone's acting up again. There we go. And this is a poem of mine called Flames. Blackbird perched on wooden fence post, with red and gold on shoulder tips. Driving by down country roads, I'd never seen such flames. My shoulders on fire from ancient wounds, just like those wings now flown away, while feeling heavier every day, sport scars that forever bleed. These razor-thin scabs peel from fingertips, not from an errant blade this time, but broken glass embedded in shoes that frequently hide in a box. And like the shoulders I seldom reveal, I hide these flames inside. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Beautifully said, beautifully worded. Everybody unmute and give it up for Parkillian at this time.
Great
That
last
shoulder
line.
line with the title word in it. Oh, that was beautiful. Like ancient scar. Like, oh, that was beautiful. Thank you.
Lilac iridescence. That's not a color you often see like in the sky. Just those two words are a poem, really.
Right? Yo, and like the title insists too, you know, I would say your pen's on fire, but your quill is on fire.
Thank you again, everyone.
On deck, we have Jackson Riley, but right now we have Marianne. Take it away when you're ready.
You so much, C. What a great job you're doing tonight. Great to see you, Dre, Thomas, and poet friends everywhere. As you know, I'm a classroom teacher and I went back to prep today. So it's that I'm going to read a couple of poems in that sort of change of season, not quite change of season. And the first one I'd like to cover is by a writer that many of you will know, Leonard Lund is a great fan of the Zoomverse and is based just outside of Chicago. He does every year, he writes poems against cancer, and he's been doing this for some many years. I want to say probably 20 years now, and raises money, puts together a little chapbook, writing every day through National Poetry Month. And I'll read this. Repeat as Needed by Leonard Lund. When you're standing at the edge, staring down at an afterlife that can't possibly be emptier of anything but pain than this one, when you feel nobody sees you, balanced on the razor's edge while looking at the swords and cudgels all about, when you know all this is all about you, even if they'll say it's selfish, regardless of the course you chose, as you hear the darkness call, hear this. Embrace this, not one step forward, but rather 2 steps back, then turn and run, find the ones who will stand by you. Thank you, Leonard Lund. And a little poem of my own called Impromptu. Remembered voices whisper in newly painted rooms. Familiar scents rise among off-season garments whose weather never comes. I no longer seek a place for your brush beside mine, yet I know not to be surprised by silent footprints impromptu. Love leaves, but never truly goes. Yeah.
Super sweet. Everybody,
More.
please give it up for Marianne Teft. Woo!
Yes,
Thank you.
Mary
More.
Ann.
Thank you,
Marianne,
everybody.
more.
Gorgeous.
More.
More, one more. We want another one. We love you so much.
One
One more.
more.
Oh, shucks. Yes? All right.
Yay!
Yeah.
Peer pressure,
Thank you.
peer pressure.
Peppa.
I can.
Peer
Thank you,
pressure, peer
everybody.
pressure.
Let's see. I'll find what's just here. I must have a little poem that I sent through. Let's see. I have read this recently, but I'll read it again. It's called Roadside. I promised to walk beside you, hold your hand through storms that threatened your fences, quiet your broken dreams on nights the moon refused to rise. Listen to ancient stories that edged ever closer to truth. I promised to accept anything, to everything, and I believed I could because we shared the load, yoked in love and determination. But even my steady feet could not wear your shoes, lift your knee to take the step you could or would not take. I am not the little tin soldier to imagine I do not ache. I say I have stopped to rest, to ease the weight on frayed laces, but my heart knows I will no longer force the broken aglet through the eyelet here beside the road. Thank you.
You are
Thank
so
you.
fun. Everybody, please
Woo!
give it up for
Everybody.
Marianne Teft
Mary
again.
Ann.
Yeah.
Woo!
Everybody.
That was
Thank
beautiful.
Work is beautiful.
You have such like a soft lullaby voice. Like I want to listen to your voice on headphones and just fall asleep. But I
Thank you.
know like my sleep is gonna just feel so peaceful. Like thank you. I love it.
Thanks, Juicy. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate this room very, very much. Thank you so much.
Woo!
We
On
definitely
deck,
appreciate you.
yes. On deck, we have the wonderful Coral Wrights. But right now, let's give it up for Jackson Riley. Woo! Whenever you're ready,
Jackson.
Jackson.
Hey, before you read, Jackson, I have a question for you. What are you doing this Friday?
What am I doing this Friday?
Yeah.
What am I doing this Friday?
I got a
This
better
Friday?
question for you. I got a better
This
question for you.
Friday.
What are you doing this Saturday?
Well, I was gonna get to
Mm.
Saturday, but what is he doing this Friday too? You gonna be co-hosting Open Minds
Oh, yeah,
Hybrid
yeah,
with
yeah,
us?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Co-hosting
right.
the first hybrid Open Minds at Manchester's first hybrid.
Mm.
Holding down the Zoom verse while Dre will be in person, holding down the physical space, the
Yes,
IRL
sir.
space.
Yes, sir.
And then after that, what are you doing this Saturday?
This Saturday, I am co-guest coaching the Slam Jam with Buddy Wakefield.
Facts.
I'm
Facts. This
so
is the like
hyped.
the if this was a wrestling ring, if this was the wrestling worlds, there'd be a huge crowd chanting,
This,
"You deserve it."
this boom, 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 boom. So yeah,
Take it away
definitely
when you
do
are
not
ready,
miss
brother.
this Saturday Slam Jam with none other than Jackson Riley and Buddy Wakefield as your guest coach. Yeah, it's gonna be wonderful.
So at a lot of these past Chaos Magics, I've always done a cover of a song that I really liked. I've done a lot of Kendrick Lamar. This is another one of my favorite artists. This is Behind the Wall by Tracy Chapman. Last night I heard the screaming, loud voices behind the wall. Another sleepless night for me. It won't do no good to call. The police always come late if they come at all. And when they arrive, They said they can't interfere with domestic affairs between a man and his wife. And as they walk out the door, the tears well up in her eyes. Last night I heard the screaming, then a silence that chilled my soul. I prayed that I was dreaming when I saw the ambulance in the road. And the policeman said, I'm here to keep the peace. Will the crowd disperse? I think we all could use some sleep. Last night I heard the screaming, loud voices behind the wall. Another sleepless night for me. It won't do no good to call. The police always come late if they come at all. That was one of the first songs I ever downloaded on my iPod Shuffle as a kid. The first song to ever make me cry. I still love it. One of my favorite albums of all time, Tracy Chapman by Tracy Chapman. The other thing I want to share is a poem that I don't know that I've shared at any open minds. It's one that I wrote a while ago as part of a short collection called 3rd of June. This is 9885150, and I'm just pulling it up on my computer. It's not one I have fully memorized. Hey, figured I'd hit you up because, frankly, I knew you'd answer. I'm losing the good fight. I need you to guide me to greener pastures. I've considered you my kin, but if we're keeping with this candor, I've used you as a lifeline. Now you view me as a cancer. Our relationships turned rancid. I wish I'd taken every chance to address the wound before it had grown gangrenous, not after. You've demonstrated such patience, but I've been this way since my nascence. I could taste it. I wouldn't change it, thus it fell on you to face it. I understand if you still hate me. I still debate daily whether I'll take the easy way out. I tend to err toward maybe the nod off waking to whatever the next day brings, thinking this time it might change things. Taking in one final glance, he loosened his fatal grasp. Letting loose the frightful implement, missing any vital ligament, it tore not through nerve and sinew, but a tender, verdant milieu of loving, doting, ever-trusting family and friends, whose love and trust he came to learn had never been loaned without end. The summation of my abrasions affected gradual degradation. Unremitting rumination rendered moot mediation, while corroborations of my meditations caused me only devastation. The lamination of a narrative led me to seek elation and self-beration, medication and ideation on my cremation. The furtive formation of a final delineation, a plan for self-liberation, caused a ripple effect. Vibrations crossed the nation to affect panic in my relations. The identification of my dedication toward my own elimination provided sufficient justification for a drastic modification. The chief stipulation being, it required self-nomination. The motivations for my reservation toward my immediate hospitalization stood tall on predication of disbelief in necessitation for inhumane castration and callous domestication. My aberrant hesitation to seek my own salvation met not the expectation of those who felt for me adoration. So they made a transformation. They turned to excoriation, only fueling further still my feelings of isolation. I agreed, if purely for the sake of their placation, without intention of ever actually reaching the destination. Yet apparent indications of my premeditations proceeded strict in observation under home incarceration. The deprivation of my freedom led to my feeling humiliation, alienation, derealization, and dehumanization. So I begrudgingly abandoned my old life for an attempt at reparations. Now, in spite of my best attempts, there's no conversation to convince my next of kin I'm fit to return to civilization. I will continue to call until their position finally changes. Until then, here I'll remain, making the most of this vacation. Thank you.
Dude, thank you,
Thank
Jackson.
you
Everybody
for that.
unmute and give it up for Jackson Riley.
Jackson! Yeah, brother.
Tough piece of
Always
word work.
true.
It was kind of like, in a way, a Causey Cause poem in reverse. You ended all these lines with Tion, and it reminded me of Causey Cause's poems, his alphabet poems. And the first piece you did the cover from, what's her name? Forget, it's slipping my mind.
Tracy Chapman.
Tracy Chapman, yeah. You were using this tone of voice that was a lot like Dr. Faison or Frog Corpse. And it's this kind of voice that kind of gives you a sensation that it's being spoken inside your own head. It's really eerie that way.
So dope, man.
And just to give everyone a heads up, we're not bullshitting you. Jackson Riley and Buddy Wakefield are going to be doing a double features, and they're going to be special guest coaches on the Slam Jam this Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Portugal time. That's where Buddy's at. So this is going to be a day to remember, definitely. The most toured poet in history on, the Open Minds
Right here
universe.
in,
It's gonna
in
be
our
dope.
little room. How cool is that? I mean, I guess he is the most toured poet of all time, so eventually he's gonna make it here to our little, place in heaven. So that's cool, man. Dre, thank you so much for setting that up. Jackson, thank you so much uh for being a part of this. And I'm so excited also for Come As You Are, the Thursday shows we're gonna be releasing September 12th, hosted by C Santos and Jackson Riley. And we're gonna do end of the month workshop, 3-day extensive workshop, $30 a ticket, $10 a day. But you'll get a writing workshop and prompts on day one. We refine and write the homework that you did on day two, and then day three is going to be performance focused and theme based. So at the end of the month Thursday show, we'll all come bring what we did at the workshop and share it there. And we're thinking about having guest coaches, kind of two guests like moderators for the workshops each month based on the theme. So yeah, it's just a lot of exciting, fun stuff we got coming up, and I want to thank y'all too again for being a part of that and just being amazing people. And I want to thank everybody here for just being here at this little show that we started. So yeah.
Thank you, Thomas. Yes, I can't wait. It's gonna be super fun. Um, just for the record, my birthday is September 11th. That's why we're gonna do this open mic September 12th.
Yeah, so it'll be the day we'll be celebrating C's birthday on the launch of her show. So it's like C's
Yes,
birthday, right? We celebrate C's birthday, and then we celebrate the birth of Come As You Are. So
come
it's
as you
like
are. Yes,
works out great.
and come as you are just literally means come as you. Just come as yourself. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're in pajamas. It doesn't matter if you're walking in the supermarket. Just come as you. Just be you. That is all we want. So on deck we have Dre, but first let's give it up for Coral Rights. Woohoo! Whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So interesting enough, I also intended to cover Dre Race, so today's your day. I don't know. Except I'm gonna do the iconic Ode to Crab Rangoon, which feels sacrilegious that I'm the one saying this, but here we are. Oh, Crab Rangoon, you fill me up with fulfillment when you're filling face plants into a field of my taste buds. Every time I have you inside my oral cavern, I cannot help but want to crush you with my stalagmite teeth and swallow you into my abyss while I enjoy feeling you disintegrate slowly under my pressure as you slide all the way down into the pit of my being. Oh, Crab Rangoon, you perfectly, highly addictive, yet perfectly legal drug. And yes, I said drug. Have you ever eaten one and not feel dopamine and serotonin flood every mini vessel in your being with the utmost sense of culinary nirvana? You are the Asian equivalent to Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. In life, there should only be two universal defining periods, life before and after accepting Crab Rangoon as your Lord, Savior, and demigod. O Crab Rangoon, you miracle of life, if you were made in your original pure form, the pharmaceutical industry would cease to exist because you cure all. I'll never forget the time I had that one stomachache, and you, with your crunchy exterior and your cheesy, creamy, crabby holiness, you are the body of Christ. Your healing powers influenced me to start underground street fighting club called Crab Rangoon Club. And the first rule of Crab Rangoon Club is that we definitely talk about Crab Rangoon Club. Oh, Crab Rangoon, the joy and despair of all, how they rewrote the history books. You, Crab Rangoon, every 80s power ballad and 70s adult film was inspired by you in some way, by your rich sexual white chocolate. Oh, Crab Rangoon, I am a goon for you. Always have and always will. And because why not, I decided to write a response poem to that poem.
Oh, what's that?
And I attempted to write it from the vantage point of the Crab Rangoon. It was supposed to be equally food porn-ish. It, for better or worse, turned into just porn, so here we are. Ode to my dear Crab Rangoon lover. You love me like Pablo Neruda loves onions. Your eyes light up like a man blessed, like I am your demigod here to save you, heal you from the inside out. I am your dopamine, I am your serotonin. You kneel down to atone in front of my altar. Your stalagmite and stalactite teeth welcome me in, wrapping around me, seasoning me in your hunger. Your warm, wet, cavernous mouth envelops me. You, in your purest enthusiasm, go to work, working me around in your mouth, enjoying my textures, my taste, salty resonance of our romance lingering on your lips. And finally, my savory white chocolate explodes, filling your senses. Swallow this bliss. Let it slide down into our love's abyss. To you, my final gift, my dear Crab Rangoon lover. Your deep, gentle moans linger in my memories, and I can only hope that you remember me.
Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh. What do you think of
God.
that, Dre? What, Carl? That was so dope.
I think you just unlocked something in me. Everybody, please unmute and give it up for Coral Rights.
Woo, that's
All
fucking
right.
awesome. Woo. I need you to run that back. I need you to run that whole
Hey,
poem
yeah,
back
look.
entirely.
Can we do a rewind for the first time
Please,
ever at
please
Open
run
Minds?
that
Can we
back
do a
for me,
rewind
please.
on that poem, please?
Yep, let me drink some water because, takes a lot out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, double order of Crab Rangoon,
Yeah, I'll
please.
take 2 crab rangoons, please. Or 3 really, cause
All right. Okay. All right.
Buy 2, get 1 free. Fuck yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah. You love me like Pablo Neruda loves onions. Your eyes light up like a man blessed, like I am your demigod here to save you, heal you from the inside out. I am your dopamine, I am your serotonin. You kneel down to atone in front of my altar. Your stalagmite and stalactite teeth welcome me in, wrapping around me, seasoning me in your hunger. Your warm, wet, cavernous mouth envelops me. You, in your purest enthusiasm, go to work, working me around in your mouth, enjoying my textures and tastes, salty resonance of your romance lingering on our lips. And finally, my savory white chocolate explodes, filling your senses. Swallow this bliss. Let it slide down into our love's abyss. To you, my final gift, my dear Crab Rangoon lover. Your deep, gentle moans linger in my memories, and I can only hope that you remember me.
wow. Everybody unmute yourselves and give it up for Crab Rangoon.
Woo, that was fucking amazing.
Totally
Please give it up for Coral Rights again. Holy shit.
Totally porn.
Right, that was great. Fuck it.
Coral, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I saw your name being pushed down lower and lower and lower onto the list, I'm like, why does she keep on being pushed down? But you know what? That was worth the wait.
Save the
Holy
best for
cat.
last. I know crab rangoon's an appetizer, but we saving it for dessert here at
Yes,
Open
that
Minds.
was, oh my gosh. Yes, that was like 5 desserts in one. Yes, that was so badass and cool. Love it. Thank you so much, Coral. And thank you, Dre, for writing that popping poem. And then Coral just, whew, with the feedback. Yes, love it.
Thank you.
Oh man, that was awesome. Wow. I'm sorry, y'all. I need a minute because the flames was just,
Yo,
wow.
I judge a Chinese food restaurant based on their crab rangoon. It's my first time ever at that restaurant. I order one order of crab rangoon. I taste it, I eat it, I inspect it, I break it apart, I do everything I have to. And if they make a good crab rangoon, I know they're a good restaurant. I'll eat anything on the menu.
Love it. Love that. Now, everybody, let's give it up for our fucking fantastic host with the most, Dre Reyes. Woo! Take it away, Dre.
Oh my goodness. Hello everybody. Again, this is pretty dope. I have to follow that. That's pretty cool. Oh man. I just want to just say real quick, Coral, wow. Look at you. I see you. Let's just put it that way. I see you a lot. And that'll be proven in a moment. Anyway, I just wanted to just quickly say real quick thank you everybody here for sharing space because again, these shows aren't possible without you. It takes a lot to make a stew, and all you are the cool ingredients that brings a little zest, a little crunch, a little ooh la la in this gumbo here that we have here at Open Minds. Again, it's just a pleasure to share space with all y'all creatives. Thank you. So, in lieu of what we have just heard here, I think I'm gonna cover Coral, and I'm gonna do that. So, here's a poem called "I Hate the Word Demisexual," and I've never read this out loud. I think so. Forgive me if I suck. I'm everybody's best friend, and I can be yours. You can be my romantic partner, but just so you know, so are all my friends. Or perhaps you are looking for more. Well, the depth of our emotional penetration is based on the depth you're willing to open. How much are you willing to let me witness? How much of me are you able to handle? How much of you are will you let me please? How much of me will you be willing to tease? Play with me. Drip heat on me from your candle. If you can't hold a candle to my heart energy, you don't get to use me like a mic and rock me like a vandal. I don't need you to touch me cleverly, but I do need you to massage my heart expertly. Nowhere to place pressure, nowhere to allow for release. Make me sweat like I'm risking everything. Placing a bet, going all in. It's emotional double jeopardy. I am not fragile. I won't break. It's okay if it stings. Tell me what is real. Ground me into my body, into this reality. I will not waste this opportunity to feed you my yin. Can you see me? How am I bent but not broken? How can I take in your words and hear the ones felt but never spoken? The depth of our emotional penetration is best on the depth you're willing to open. How much are you willing to let me witness? How much of me are you able to handle? How, excuse me, do you have a handle on the nature of change? Can you handle if my yang slips in for the conversation? Can you handle if I reveal you to yourself without intimidation? Do you understand the law of equivalent exchange? We can't create something from nothing. Sometimes in order to build, you must dismantle. Dig deep into dig deep in the earth to create the channel. Channel the waters. Let grooves flood with wetness, build up the soil until it's lush and substantial. Before we plant seeds, we must pass this This connection has to be a direct so, no indirectness. And I can be your friend, and I can pretend I'm not a fountain of romantic emotion for the many loves I have chosen, but I can promise the depth of our emotional penetration is based on the depth you're willing to open. So, if you're still looking for more, then you should know I'm open to explore. Poem. So that's the cover.
Hold on. Can we just acknowledge the love in the room? How we all covering each other's poems and bringing life and love to all of it. And all of this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the late great Megas Gustav Salas. This is what he truly envisioned for this open mic, and I'm just so glad that we're still here, being able to embody it. And I just know he's smiling down, like just he's watching us every Mondays out here, just smiling from heaven, you know. So I just thank y'all for that. And Dre, go ahead and finish this off, brother.
All right. And I got one more piece, and it's a response poem to this very poem. So this is called I Love the Word Chemistry. Let's both have a hand at the wheel, navigating the pathways we can take together. I have a lust for life and a passion for passion, and life has a funny old fashion of clashing a couple souls swimming in the same fishbowl onto a path that leads to a whimsical, wholesome rabbit hole, falling madly, badly, and gladly, laughing maniacally, basking in the madness of it all, going full Bruce Lee into this like a 1-inch punch of love that brings us to our knees, creating a new religion based on intimate spirituality. Let's explore in the style of a completionist gamer, playing any RPG, leveling up and discovering new side quests at ease, because we got experience points for weeks. And the idea of venturing into uncharted territory piques my interest heavily. I like new stories. Let's co-write and coexist in this romantic odyssey. The depth I'm willing to open for our emotional penetration is infinite. So, how sturdy is your submarine? How durable is your equipment? How much can you handle before getting to the bottom of the candle? I hide nothing. So, have at it at this all you can eat buffet. Eat to your fill and to your heart's content every day. My appetite may match yours in ways you didn't expect. So, feed me your yin. Let's practice spiritual law and see what happens next. If you can bear me, I can easily bear you any and all vulnerabilities. Road mapping traumas, triumphs, and tragedies that turn me into an anomaly that stands before thee. I don't want to make this travel any more difficult than it needs to be. So, fellow traveler, make camp here. You're safe with me. Let's both have a hand at the wheel as we get a better feel of this thing we call life together. No sales pitch, just the real deal. Home.
Yo, the triumphs and tragedies that turn me into the anomaly you see before thee. Bro, everybody, unmute yourselves and give it up for your host tonight, Dre Reyes.
Yes.
Yes. Slay. Love it.
Mhm.
Oh,
Thank
I, lo-
y'all.
I love the magic and the chaos of tonight. Y'all are just wonderful. I love it.
I just want to take this moment to thank Oral for the inspiration. Definitely. Um, and again, just want to thank everybody here joining us tonight and doing what we do. It's a pleasure to be sharing space with everybody as often as we do. We're lucky to have not just one, not two, but three open mic shows and an interview show. Speaking of which, let's go over what we have lined up for the rest of the week. Tomorrow we do have Heart of the Artist in this very Zoom room at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The guest is Nema Chamchun, I believe that's pronounced.
Chom
Um,
Chown. Chom Chown.
Cham
Nema
Chown.
Chom Chown's gonna be here tomorrow in this room doing Heart of the Artist. Nema has been around with Open Mind since like the beginning. She hasn't been around too much because she out there just crushing it in the world. So if you can't make it here Friday because you're doing big things, we won't be upset. We'll be cheering you on from here. And so yeah, tomorrow is gonna be a wonderful interview with a wonderful woman. And we got plenty other things like this week. I think this week's
I
gonna be
got
a really good week.
I got some more announcements for y'all. With that said, this Friday we're going to be having our first hybrid event. It's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit faster paced because we're going to be running on the Bookery's business hours. So keep that in mind. So be maybe less feedback verbally, but please chime in the group chat. We're going to be having talents from live in Manchester, New Hampshire, and here in the Zoom room from 7 to 9. And then after 9 p.m., we're all going to integrate online. And also, one more time, we have this incredible double feature at the Slam Jam with our Jackson Riley and the legendary Buddy Wakefield. It's going to be a can't miss show. Please, if you haven't been to an Slam Jam yet, um, this is the time to do it. Um, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this very Zoom room. We got a slam workshop and an open mic, so there's something for everyone. Um, and plus, it's Buddy Wakefield. You don't really see him doing much of like online shows these days anyway, so it's gonna be a rare treat. Chime in, definitely. And with
I'm
that
going to
said,
see Jackson.
oh yeah, this is going to be great. Yeah, Jackson's going to be showing up, and it's going to be like a collision of old school and new school. And new school is definitely going to be showing up because I see nothing but like, I don't know. There's like this theory of a glass ceiling. Jackson's going to punch right through that. He's going to Superman punch through that motherfucker.
Yo, this,
And
I
you'll
call
see.
this man my little brother for a reason. Jackson, you are the future of poetry. That's why I'm so excited to bring you in on the Open Minds family. I'm so excited to do this show, next month Thursdays with UNC and the workshop, end of the month workshops. And somebody had mentioned how your vernacular was close to Causey Cause, and they have collabed together before too. So like you're gonna get the realness, the emotional fucking realness of C Santos. You're gonna get the vernacular and wordplay style from Jackson, and then, I might shed in on a little performance or whatever. But yeah, it's a 3-day extensive workshop we're gonna do at the end of each month, starting on the Monday, and then that end of month Thursday will be the theme show with whatever we write about in the workshop. So make sure you guys check that out. Yeah, it's gonna be fun stuff coming up here. Also, I just confirmed with Fongo. I haven't posted yet, but I'll announce it again here. Is we're gonna be doing a hybrid open mic November 2nd on a Saturday, noon Eastern, so 9 a.m. my time. So I gotta wake up early for this, but we'll have enough time to do that and the Slam Jam. We're gonna be doing a hybrid mic with Sfongo. There's a poetry arts festival going on in Sierra Leone, Freetown, Sierra Leone, Africa. And so we're going to do it across, we go from BC to Sierra Leone, Africa. We're going to be doing, there's going to be 8 live performers and 12 Zoom performers. The signups will start here shortly. You have 2 months to call in sick because it's noon, for the East Coasters and stuff. So you got plenty of time to sign up, lock your spot in. Call in for work. Let them know you're gonna be busy that day because we're gonna do a hybrid, a global hybrid. It's gonna be fun stuff. So be sure y'all are staying in tune and yeah, I'd like to see you there.
Tune into everything we got going on Instagram at Open Minds Open Mic for any and all updates, and plus at the One Slam Jam because I be posting stories daily promoting events. And with that said, this concludes yet another beautiful evening of chaos magic. Until next time, please keep writing, please keep loving. Peace and love to y'all. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.